DJ Spenny and the place to be here with skinsgolf.tv. Oh, that rhymed.
I can't.
I'm just on fire today, wow.
G'day, my name's Rob Turvey from the Ledbetter Golf Academy here at Bali National Golf Club.
And what are we doing today, Rob?
Today we're going to be learning how to hit a flighted wedge shot, controlling the trajectory and trying to hit at a certain distance.
With my 56?
56 is okay, I've got my 52. You ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right, cool.
Okay, so what exactly is a flighted shot, Rob?
Okay, so a flighted wedge shot is basically us trying to learn how to control the trajectory at a certain height. Now, the reason why we want to do that is because on a windy day, it keeps us underneath the wind and it gives us a little more control over the shot. But also in general, I tend to use this one more than regular wedge shots because for me, when it hits the green, I have more control over the ball. There's a little less spin on it, so I know that where it's going to land, that's where it's going to stop. And then also, when I hit it with a little bit lower trajectory, I have that ability to control the distance a little bit better.
Okay. So should we watch you hit a few and then you can give me the lesson and we'll talk me through it?
Okay, Ken.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do to get into a flighted wedge shot is basically we have to understand a couple of things. When we hit the shot, it's not going to be a full swing. The idea is not to send the ball high into the air. It's to control the trajectory, so we're going to send it a little bit lower. So evidently the club face is going to have to be a little bit de-lofted. Now, when we do that, some of the things that we're going to have to make sure of is the way that we stand, because the stance is a little bit different. Yep. And then the golf swing is not your normal release into the shot. We're kind of holding that swing and not releasing it through the impact the same way as what we would do with a normal golf shot. Okay, so the first thing to set up.
So the stance, how's the difference?
So when I set up, I generally put the ball pretty much in the same position. I might put it half of a ball roll backwards in the stance, just to get it a little bit lower when I strike. But when I set, I generally put a little bit more weight into my lead leg.
So you're actually shifting your hips slightly forward as well?
Slightly,
so the ball is going slightly behind you?
It's definitely going to feel that way.
Yeah.
By having my weight further into the front, it feels like the ball is back even though that the ball hasn't moved.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so by having that there, when I do my swing, I pretty much keep my weight distributed more towards the lead side. So
and you're only doing a 3/4 length swing, right?
That's right. So as I take it back, I'm not going to transition my weight back to the right side. I'm not going to sway across there. I'm going to stay pretty much into that lead leg. So as I set, I put that weight into there. And when I do a backswing, it's only going to be a 3/4 swing. Now, when I do that 3/4 swing, I take it back and I'm not using as much wrist hinge when I do it either.
Okay.
So as I come in and through, as I finish that 3/4 swing, I'm also going to not release all the way through like a normal golf shot. I'm just going to hold it a little bit shorter with a little less wrist hinge as well. Okay?
A bit more control.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So, and what are you aiming to hit here? So you're going to hit the flag out there about 90 yards?
The shot that we got in front of us right now is about 75 yards.
Okay.
It's just an easy one. We're a bit downwind today. So even with a downwind shot, I like this type of trajectory for this ball because I can control it. If I throw it up into the wind might catch it, send it that extra distance. This is definitely going to help me to control my distance control.
Okay.
Weight to the front. Back and through. I think that's in the hole. Oh, it's just a bit
low. But nice.
That's pretty good, right?
You can hear the difference as well on the connection. You're really playing down into that ball.
That's right. So definitely it's ball strike first, then ground, but that's the same for every shot. But by having that weight a little further forward, you're definitely going to feel like you're attacking downwards on the golf ball a little more.
Yeah, because normally my shots, all of my approach shots, I feel like I'm almost getting under the ball, getting it up into the air.
Right.
But it can really get affected by the wind.
We've seen that on the course the other day, right? Like when that ball went up into the air, also you're getting a lot of spin on the golf ball. So when it hits a green, sometimes it's coming back a little bit, especially on these soft greens.
Yeah.
So when that's happening, basically we're losing that control over where the end spot of the golf ball is. If you have a great shot and you land it right next to the flag, you want it to stay next to the flag, right? All right. Do you want to try a couple of these?
Yeah, I'll have a little go. Yeah.
All right,
talk me through this shot. I'll line the ball up just behind your mark.
Perfect.
Okay, so along with the alignment stick, straight at the flag.
Yep.
So I'm taking my normal stance here, normal grip.
Very good. Your ball position looks like it's normal.
Yeah, and then I'm just slightly shifting forward.
Yep.
So my hands are going in front of the ball now.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a great sense, actually, a great way to describe it.
Yeah, as opposed to just leaning my hands.
Exactly.
I'm just moving my body like this.
And you'll feel your hands are directly over the ball. That's correct.
Okay. 3/4 swing. Missed a bit on the distance, but on the direction, but the distance was good.
Yeah.
How was that connection? Did I miss this?
It was a little bit on the heavy side, so I don't think you got the connection directly to the golf ball. So, you know, once we start to make that connection a little bit cleaner, I bet we're going to start to see that trajectory take off just a little lower.
Okay, so I can try again, lean forward.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, that feels good. I'm hitting that about 90 yards, so I'm over hitting that slightly.
Right.
What kind of length would I be using this shot for? What range of length?
Now, I tend to think of a flighted wedge shot as that one where I'm using, trying to judge a distance. So a full swing is when you take your golf club, let's say my 52, I hit my 52 about 120 if I really give it a good strike. Now, if I'm hitting my 52 120, then I want to be able to hit this club maybe around 100, 110 with a flighted shot maximum. But I could bring this all the way back to around 70 yards and still be very happy with this shot, like this one right here.
Yeah.
You know, so basically from there, I have that sense that I can use it at any distance. And the best part about doing practice with this is you could use it with different golf clubs. You could use it with a 7-iron, with a pitching wedge, with a 9-iron.
So are you talking about like a range between like 50 to 100% of your original shot, 50 to 80% of your full swing?
That's a good way of looking at it. I think that's a good way to mark it.
So let's try this again. Slightly less on the ball, but similar shot.
Mate, that sounded and looked perfect. And that's right on money. That's
so
75.
That's the length.
Yep.
That felt nice. Yeah, it's actually a lot different as well. Practicing off the grass to practicing off the
100%, because you can feel the grip into the divot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, one of the things about when we seen that ball fly out was he could definitely see that the ball is traveling at a different trajectory, and when the ball lands, you can notice that the ball actually stops pretty much where it lands. It doesn't actually spin back. It doesn't look like it's got too much spin from coming in from a higher trajectory. Therefore, we're going to have more control over the end point. This is that one where, you know, if you're close to the green, you've hit a great drive, you don't want to, you know, hit something in too high with a lot of spin, and then especially on these soft greens, it just comes back and then you're 6 feet away, whereas you could be a lot closer if you've hit a great shot in.
Okay, so what drills can I do to try and improve this shot, or is this shot that I'm just attempting to do it and I'm just going to practice this 20 times in a
I would
session?
pretty much say that this type of practice that you're doing right now, that's the shot. You just got to make sure of those 3 points, making sure that the weight is more into the front. It's a 3/4 swing.
Yeah.
And basically when you're finishing up, you're not using as much wrist.
Okay, so I'm going to get used to that, the distance control with the amount of power I'm putting into the shot.
That's right. And then you start to calibrate a little bit better. By having that ball position where it is right now, this is kind of standard already for you, so you don't have to change much. If you want to play with the trajectory a little bit more, you could move the ball position a little bit further back or a little bit further forward, depending on how high you want to fly. But that comes with the practice as well. You got to know what you're doing. The 3 things that you got to remember, mate, are basically when you take your setup to have your weight a little bit into the lead leg.
Yep.
As you draw the club backwards, it's only a 3/4 backswing and a 3/4 follow through. And then when you finish, try to reduce the amount of wrist action. That's the 3rd point. Making sure that you're not trying to release that club through. Just hold that wrist action.
Okay, so three key things to work on.
Yep.
The weight.
1,
3/4 length backswing, and that finish, less wrist action.
And number 3, less wrist action.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Perfect.
Thanks for watching another episode of skinsgolf.tv. Big thank you going to our sponsor Bintang, who provide me with copious amounts of orange beer, the greatest drink ever created by man.
And if you like a flighted wedge shot, please like, subscribe and comment below. If you've got any questions about what's going on with the flighted wedge shot, please ask in the comments and we'll do our best to show you some love.
Cheers, Rob.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.